Hello and welcome. This is Manpreet Singh from Government College Bhadra. For BA Part 2nd English Literature, we have been reading from Paper First Poetry and Drama, The Second Coming, a poem by William Butler Yeats. This poem is about the 20th century anarchy that was loosened upon the world after the First World War. In this poem, he uses symbols, W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats. So he uses symbols from Christianity, the second coming of Christ, and he uses symbols from Egyptian architects like the Sphinx, the statue of Sphinx, etc. So we had started the poem. I will take it from the beginning again. In the previous video we read two stanzas, but in this video we will start from the first line again. So the second coming is Christian or a theological belief in Christianity, in Judaism and other religions that Jesus Christ may come again after 2000 or so years. He might come again on the earth after his ascension to the heaven. So this poem takes that belief, but it's not the Jesus Christ is something terrible, something something horrific that is going to take birth after 2000 years, like in the 20th century we saw the horrific incidents of World Wars First and Second. So the second coming from the first line. Turning and turning in a widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. The falcon is a bird. The bird is used for a type of hunting art that is called falconry. So falconer is the handler of the bird. So turning and turning in the widening gyre. Gyre is a type of storm that is a storm that moves around in round circles. So turning and turning in widening gyre. The falcon cannot hear the falconer, so the control has lost. The falconer has no control over falcon, so you can say that the world is going into anarchy. This is just a symbol. Things fall apart. Things fall apart means things do not stay in order, they do not stay in control. Things fall apart, they go into chaos. The center cannot hold things that are controlled by the center. This is decentralization, or this is the anarchy. The poet is using symbols, so he is using poetic language to express his feeling about the First World War and the post-First World War situation that was upon Europe or the world. Where anarchy is loosed upon the world, only anarchy is loosed upon the world. Anarchy is an opposite word of control. Anarchy is when there is no control of government, of any association or any made out rules or constitution. So mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. From the first stanza, turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed. Blood-dimmed tide. Blood-dimmed means red tide, red flood is loosed upon the world, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. Ceremony of innocence. Innocence is the state of being innocent. So the ceremony, it was just a ceremony, or the manners are drowned, the manners are dropped down, and people start to behave savagely at each other. They start to behave in anarchy, in chaos. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction. Even the best people, those that are right in their own opinion, or those that are right in their moral values, they lack all conviction. They do not have the self-confidence that they need. While on the other hand, the worst are full of passionate intensity. Those people who are worst, who are not very good, who are not very morally high in their values, those people are full of passionate intensity, like we saw in Hitler or in Mussolini. Those people, worst people, they were not they were not they were not lacking any part of self confidence. They had full passionate intensity for whatever they were doing. They thought they were doing rightly. The blood tide is loose, and what does this flood does? This flood drowns the innocence. The state of being innocent is drowned, and the best lack all conviction. The good people, they lack all self-confidence in themselves, while the worst, on the other hand, the bad people, the evil people, they are full of passionate intensity. They believe that they are right. Surely, now what happens after this? When the poet observes this type of condition of the world, when he believes that this is this is a sign of something coming, when he believes that these are signs that are indicating towards something new, something like the second coming or the apocalypse or the doomsday, surely the second coming is at hand. Now the poet is sure that the second coming or the doomsday or the second coming of the Christ is at hand. The second coming, but he is surprised, he is shocked when he writes again, the second coming. Hardly are those words out, hardly have I spoken those words, when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi. Spiritus Mundi is just a term that he used for point of view or a viewpoint in the horizon or anywhere in the sky. So the poet says, whenever he thinks about second coming, whenever these words come out of his mouth, a vast image, a vast picture means pops out in front of his eyes from the Spiritus Mundi, troubles my sight. This vast picture is horror to look upon. This vast picture troubles his eyes, his sight, somewhere in the sands of the desert, as if somewhere in the sands, in the desert, in the sand dunes. A shape. What type of shape is that? What type of image is that? A shape with lion body. You might have seen this picture. I have used this picture under these lines. Sphinx is, it's an Egyptian architectural structure that is situated near Gaza. Near Cairo in Egypt. So this picture is of Sphinx, a mythical animal that has a body of a lion and a face of a man. So the poet takes it as a symbol to indicate, to explain what type of second coming this is. So he says, a shape with a lion body and the head of a man. Body of a lion and head of a man, जिसका सिर तो इंसान का है, but the body is of a lion. So the shape, that image that pops out in the Spiritus Mundi, that pops out in the sky, is something that looks like a sphinx, a shape with a lion body and the head of a man. A gaze blank, and its eyesight, its gaze, its staring is blank and pitiless as the sun, and it has no pity, it has no sympathy for anyone. It is horrific, it is very terrible to look upon, and this is pitiless as the sun. The eyesight or the sight or the gaze, the staring power of the staring of this animal or this image is very pitiless, blank, just as the sun. And this image, that animal is moving its slow thighs, it's moving its slow legs, while all about it real shadows of indignant desert birds, and around it there are birds, indignant desert birds. Desert birds are a symbol of stopping evil, and those birds are hovering around that image, and real shadows, there are shadows, real shadow, one after another, like a reel of camera, real shadows. There are images of or shadows of the indignant desert birds. Those indignant means those that are very not respecting or rejecting attitude. So indignant desert birds are trying trying unsuccessfully to stop this horrific animal, but they cannot. So that this is the image that is put forward by poet about the second coming. This horrific, this terrible, this fierce animal is moving to sense. This symbol is to show that how the World War First has affected the world and how this was horrible for the humanity. In these next lines, the darkness drops again. The dark era drops again. But now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep. Darkness drops again. We know about the dark ages or the middle ages. So the poet says the darkness drops again. The darkness has fallen again. The night has come again. Or we thought that we had moved into a modern era of prosperity or development, but the darkness has come again on the world, because the First World War and the Second World War were like deconstruction of human values. They were like the deconstruction of human development or progress. They show us the reality of human behavior. They showed us that even how much developed we could be, no matter how much developed we human beings can be, we are dark from our heart, and we might fall into anarchy anytime whatsoever. So the darkness drops again. But now I know, the poet says, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. That 20 centuries यहाँ पे 2000 की बात ये कर रहे हैं, 20वीं सदी की बात कर रहे हैं. From the birth of Jesus Christ, he's talking about the 20 centuries after Jesus Christ, the 20 centuries of stony sleep. Stony sleep, वो नींद जो पत्थर की तरह नींद थी, वो vexed means होता है frustrated. उस नींद को हिला दिया गया to nightmare, एक प्रकार के दुस्वप्न ने, by a rocking cradle, एक cradle जिसे रॉक किया गया. cradle होता है जिसमें बच्चों को सुलाया जाता है, वो पालना. सो द पालने को इस प्रकार से हिला दिया गया. किसने? फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में द ह्यूमन नेचर ने, ये कह सकते हैं. या सेकेंड कमिंग एक सिंबल के रूप में वो बता रहे हैं कि कैसे जब अनार्की आई, कैसे जब युद्ध छिड़ा, इट हैज़ फैक्स द स्टोनी स्लीप ऑफ 20 centuries of human progress, and now we have moved again, we have fallen again into the darkness. And what rough beast, और ये कैसा भयानक beast जानवर है. What rough beast, its hour come round at last, and its time has come to resurface on the earth. ये जो भयानक जानवर है, इसके दोबारा जन्म लेने का, दोबारा सामने आने का समय आ गया है. That beast slouches towards Bethlehem to be born, and that beast is slowly slouches means moves lazily, slowly towards Bethlehem to be born. Bethlehem is the place where Jesus Christ was born. So this symbolizes that the second coming of Jesus, or something that will destroy, that will put anarchy on the world, is near. The second coming, not the second coming described in the scriptures of Jews or Christianity. This is a different type of, this is horrific and terrible second coming. So ये वो नहीं है जैसा ईसाई धर्म में बताया जाता है कि जब जीसस क्राइस्ट दोबारा जन्म लेंगे तब अच्छे लोगों को इनाम मिलेगा, बुरे लोगों को नरक में डाला जाएगा. द लिविंग शल डाई एंड डाइंग डेड शल वॉक अगेन. तो उस प्रकार की जो डूम्सडे की परिकल्पनाएं होती हैं, जब इज़राइल जो है वो अपना ट्रम्पेट बजाएगा, इस प्रकार का जो इस्लाम में भी सुनने को मिलता है और क्रिश्चियनिटी में भी सुनने को मिलता है. उसके अलावा ये एक अलग प्रकार का एक भयानक रूप दिखा रहे हैं. और ये इनके लिए इसीलिए इससे उन्होंने देखा क्योंकि फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वार के बाद उन्होंने जो हालात देखे, दुनिया के जो सिचुएशन थी, उसे देखने के बाद ऐसा ही लग रहा था जैसे कोई प्रलय दोबारा आ गई है, प्रलय की ओर है. और इस बार जो है जीसस क्राइस्ट की तरह कोई भला आदमी या ईश्वर का पुत्र जन्म लेने के बजाय कोई रफ बीस्ट, कोई हॉरिफिक जानवर जन्म लेने वाला है. और वो धीरे धीरे बैथलेहम की ओर बढ़ रहा है. ऐसे लग रहा है कि दुनिया का अंत आ गया हो. सो इसमें सिम्बल्स बहुत हैं. इसमें पोएम जो है बहुत ही सिंबॉलिक रूप में लिखी गई है, और इसमें जो इमेजरी है, जो इमेजेस है, वो अपने आप में डर पैदा करती हैं। एक अंदर तक झकझोरने वाली, कंपन पैदा करने वाली इमेजरी है इसमें, ताकि हम देख सकें कि फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद ही कैसे कैसे मन जो है कवियों के, या कैसा मन, मनुष्य का मन जो है वो डरा हुआ था। सो इस पोएम को आप पढ़ें। अगर आपको कोई समस्या आती है और इसे पढ़ने में आपको कोई लगे कि आपको कोई कुछ पूछना है, तो आप कमेंट कर सकते हैं, और आप सवाल भी कर सकते हैं। क्वेश्चन आप व्हाट्सएप पे डाल सकते हैं या डायरेक्टली मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। धन्यवाद।